Hi, welcome. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use Office scripts to add comments within Excel for Web. Comments allows you to add cell-based information, and it also allows you to mention somebody, and that person that you mention will receive an email notification, and that helps communicate and do the collaboration based on the data that's in this Excel file. The example I'm using is quite simple. This file has two sheets. The first sheet here contains basic scheduling information that, let's say, a team leader maintains. It has sort of station, shift, date, and then it has the responsible column. So this is the employee ID of the person who's supposed to take care of that shift. And then there is the admin notes, and then the confirmation column. So the goal of the script is to take this admin notes and then add it to the employee contact as in the comment. And to do that, we will need to go to this section here, so column F, and add a comment. And when you add a comment, you can mention. So imagine I'm mention this person. I would like to use the same text that is in the next column to the left. So I'll say confirm schedule. So that's sort of the intent of this exercise. And I want to write a script that can handle this automatically, right? So to do that, I will go ahead and start a new script. Okay, so kind of broadly, I need sort of three things. One, first I want to get a list of all the employees and their email and the name information from the employee sheet. And then secondly, I want to cross-reference that to this schedule table. And then thirdly, I want to add the comment on the confirmation column by mentioning the appropriate employee, and also add the proper admin notes that are included in the column here. So to do that, I will begin by uh, just reading all the employee basic information. So I know that this is in a worksheet called employees. So I'll read that to begin with. So I'll call it employee, and I'll get the worksheet called employees, and get its use range, and then get the text. So this gives me all the employees that I need to cross-reference at a later point. So I can just go ahead and display that to make sure I'm getting the right information. So I should see 9 rows with 3 columns each with employee ID, email, and the name. Okay, so that's good. And next, I will go ahead and read the data that's in this spreadsheet. It's in this worksheet. So similarly, I will go get a reference to the sheet here. I'll call it schedule sheet, workbook, get worksheet, schedule, and I'll get a reference to the table. So this, as you can see, is in a table. So I'll go ahead and get the table information. So I'll get the first table in the sheet. And what I'm interested in is the actual data, right? So I do need to have a reference to which column that the employee ID is located, where are the admin notes, and where to go add the column. You can do this in several different ways. The most optimal way is to assume that there is no other change happening at the point the script is running, and simply go ahead and read the data, knowing which column the data is located. So, so I will go ahead and get the schedule data from the table, and I want to get the range between the okay, now that I have the range between the header and the total, I'll get its texts. Okay, so the thing I want to do now is to figure out for each of the rows where the to get the corresponding employee email and then the name, and then go ahead and add the comments. So first I'll write the logic to compare results, compare the employee ID. I will start with just doing a simple loop, and to do that I will use a simple loop here. And now I know that this is the 0, 1 to the third index. Let me just read that. Let employee ID equals schedule data I, and then I'm looking for the third index or the fourth column. Okay, now that I have the employee ID, I want to read cross-reference that to the employee information that I read earlier. So to do that, I will use the find method on employees. So find method accepts a callback, and I can say, hey, if employee matches that of the employee ID here. Right. I need to match the first column of the employee data. So what I'm saying is that out of the employees data that I have, which is a two-dimensional array object, find for each of the rows, go and find the place where it matches, the first column matches that of the employee ID that is located here. And this happens for each of the rows here. So for each of the rows, it's going to go through and try to find the corresponding employee record. And I can check if employee info, and I can simply just say, for the purpose of testing, I'll say found a match, and then I can just display the row that I got. So if I run this, I should get for each of the rows here just match. Right, so I found a match, and if I put something here that is that doesn't have a corresponding employee, so let's say I'm just going to do this instead of 7, let's say make it 20, and I can say else no match for, say, EID. So for that last record, I should not find a match. So my matching logic is working, so that's good. And the next thing I want to do is to, if I find a match, uh, compile all the information that I need and add the corresponding comment. So to do that, I'll first of all, I'll save this. I'll call it add comment. So what I'm going to do is just get hold of an email address and start recording. So this gives me a way to figure out how to add a comment in the API. So I can right click, add a comment, and I can add mention. Okay, I'm already getting the auto completion. That's good. So this is one of the employee, and then I will say, confirm schedule, and then I will post the comment. So I think that's good enough for me to just gather enough data to go compile the list. Okay, so this gives me enough information to go add a comment. So I will copy this data here. I'll copy this, go back to my other script. And if I find a match, what I want to do is add a comment. So when I look at this, it says add a comment. It takes in the parameter. The first parameter is obviously the cell. So this is a range object. And then it has the email address and then the name. And then it has a rich comment text here, which I guess is going to be used to define the at mention, which means it's saying that for at, so there is a at tag with an ID of 0. So there is an ID match here, which means, insert all the rich text required in this place. So this is a way for us to communicate to Excel that, hey, I'm sending some rich content here that includes instruction to send an email. So I will need to substitute this information with the information that is in the employee table based on the dynamic data that I'm going to get from searching. So what I will do is, instead of hard coding this, I will mention the actual email address. So I get that from the employee info. I know employee info, and then the second column is the email address. And then the third column is the name. Well, name, probably I can leave this alone, so I can, don't know if it's required, but let's see what this does. And then here again, instead of the name, so I'm going to make this a dynamic text, and instead of the name, hard coding it, I will use the same name here, and instead of the text here, I'm going to use, so let's call it admin notes. So I need to find out what the admin node is prior to using it. And here, so the data, the range that I'm looking for is, so let me first get the range reference so I can use the cell. So I'll get const table range. Right. So what I just did was I got the range reference, which is this amount of cells. And then I want to substitute the exact cell, which I can get by using the index. So range get cell, and I know I'm in the row that the row of the loop, and then the column is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth index of the sixth column is where I want to add this. So that happens to be this particular column, right? And then instead of for the admin nodes, I can either just get a reference to that here. I'll just do that for the sake of simplicity. So admin nodes is in the schedule data. I'm looking at I and then 4. So that's the place. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's I and 4 gives me the exact cell where the admin nodes are located, right? So if I do this, it'll now it should now add the comment that I'm looking for. And I know from practice that if there is already a comment like the one here, it'll complain that, hey, you already have a comment. Again, I'm not sure how to actually delete a comment. So let's see if I can record that. And then maybe since I have the cell here, perhaps I can look at that cell and see if there is any way to delete comment. Nope. So let me record it. So I'll save this. I'll go back to the recorder. Then I'll go here, delete the thread. Okay, so I deleted the thread. Okay, so there is the workbook get comment and then the delete option. Okay, so that is good. I can go back to my script. So before I add a comment, I want to make sure that I can delete if there is already an existing comment there. I'll copy that. So the cell that I'm looking for is this. And it'll delete it. Okay, so I think I have the pretty much all the things that I need. I'm gonna go test this. And I will run it. All right, so it's complaining that line number 17 that the comment doesn't exist. So I will add a question mark here, which means that, hey, do this only if it exists. Okay, it is again complaining here. So what I'll do is let comment, try this way. Let's see if this works. Okay, maybe I'll put it around a try catch block. Right, I will test this and see if this one works. Okay. All right, so it looks like it is adding the comment that I need. So to test this out, I can see that the last one does not have any comment because the ID doesn't exist. And over here, so let's check a couple. So let's say 1, 3, and 4. So for 1, I expect Adele, 3, Alan, 4, Megan, uh, Adele, Alan, Megan. So that's good. It looks like it is working. I'll just check a couple more. 9 is Raul, and 6 is Nestor. Raul and 6 is Nestor. Okay, so things looks like it is working correctly. And then what I'm going to do next is to run this again, make sure it deletes the existing comment. So I'll just maybe add, instead of confirm schedule, I'll say please confirm schedule. So I will change that. Okay. And so instead of confirm schedule, I should see the new text now. Okay. All right. So you can see that it did delete the comment when if there was one comment, it deleted it. So now I see the latest comment here. Okay. And the squiggly lines that you're seeing is basically saying that, hey, you have console logs and try catch, which is not optimal in the case of a loops. So if you are doing some processing, say here I'm adding a comment. If you do that within a loop, and if you have a console or try catch, the performance tends to be slower. So that's what it's saying. So if you have ton of data, what you may want to do is not have console log statements. And another way to avoid this situation where there's comment that requires a try catch here, to avoid that error, you could potentially remove this column altogether and then come back and add a new column and then insert a new comment. So that will also help eliminate this particular issue. All right. So thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment. Check out the source code in the description. Thank you.